Hi folks, Buffin here with your Antifa News Briefa for December 15th, 2021. Myanmar refugees of the Rohingya genocide, Rohingya refugees of the Myanmar genocide against the Rohingya are suing Facebook for $180 billion, and they should win that suit. Facebook should be nationalized. We should seize Facebook and allow every country to run their own Facebook, is what I mean by nationalize Facebook, hashtag nationalize Facebook. But Mark Zuckerberg needs to be in jail for the rest of his life for genocide, for terrorism. Not just the Myanmar genocide, for the Trump virus genocide around the world that's killed millions and over 800,000 at this time in America. But for this genocide, for sure. It'll be great if they can get $180 billion in damages out of him, but that's not going to cripple Facebook. It's a good standard to set for other people to do the same and start taking chunks away from it, which is another reason why nationalize it and maybe still pay people damages for things that it did out of its assets. Like, split its money up if it has any. It's probably tied up in lots of different things. Anyway, arrest Zuckerberg. It's fitting that they're doing this. It's good news today to hear that they're suing them, but thousands of people were killed in that genocide, and it doesn't bring them back. And a million people were displaced from that genocide, and it doesn't bring them back. And most people weren't paying that much attention to it. I was trying to as much as I could through our media, not really reporting on it much. But I don't want to go into the details of the genocide, but then again, to ignore them is wrong. They were raping women and people and killing people, killing babies, throwing babies in fires and stuff. I mean, it was awful, awful genocide. And it was just the military going against these villages, just killing people. No reason not to. That's all they were doing. That was the plan. It wasn't like some rogue people were doing it. That's what they were doing. There was no like army or anything they were against. They were just going against the villagers, like going and raping and murder and burning down villages and burning babies. And that's what they did. And if you care about human life, you should care about that. And they did that as Buddhists. Like, I don't know how many genocides Buddhists have done before, but that one. And they did that with the Nobel Peace Prize leader as the president of their country, Aung San Suu Kyi, who now they're still trying to praise as some type of opposition leader. But she was the leader while they were doing that, and she didn't speak out against it. So these things were evil, but Facebook was right at the core of it. Facebook had been in the country for maybe 6 years. I think they said Facebook started there in 2011 and the genocide started in 2017. But Facebook had been there. Facebook was how the genociders, how the military was sending their messages. People were calling Facebook out for it while it was going on. Like if Facebook had just shut down in Burma and Myanmar for, that time and just suspended all operations, it would have saved people's lives. It would have prevented them from killing as many people, but they didn't. So people were calling Facebook out for it while it was happening. I know I was. That's probably why I got banned from Facebook. So it's like nationalize Facebook, seize it, take it over, arrest the people. You can easily get the people who don't want to go to jail for the rest of their lives to flip on Mark Zuckerberg. Nobody's his friend. You know what I'm saying? You can seize all his property in Hawaii and all around the world, seize everything he owns, just like you would a drug dealer or terrorist. $180 billion is a nice, good chunk, but it's not enough. You got to finish this guy. Finish him. And even Joe Biden called it out, said he's killing Americans with his Trump virus lies about the Trump virus, which he's doing for Putin and Trump and Bolsonaro. I was disappointed in Xi from China for talking so friendlily to Putin. Maybe if you're trying to ensnare him so you can arrest him when he comes to your country for the Olympics, but he's a genocider. He's evil. He's behind this whole Zuckerberg, Trump, Bolsonaro, Modi spreading the genocide as much as you possibly can in USA, Brazil, and India, top 3 countries for Trump virus deaths. So they're still succeeding. They're still winning. And why? Because we haven't fought back. Trump hasn't been arrested yet. Zuckerberg hasn't been arrested yet. But this was good news. Good news that there are any refugees alive from the Rohingya genocide, and good news that they found out some way, however they're doing it. Thank you to everyone who's working on that to get that lawsuit to sue Facebook for $180 billion, and hope you get that money and build yourself a country with $180 billion. Carve out a place for yourselves where they, You can be your own nation, if that's what it takes. Set a standard for other people to do the same. Sue Facebook for what they've done to our communities. We should sue them for what they did to America and get America back. Fund America with whatever chunk they owe us, because they owe everybody in the world for different things they've done, but they've done worse things to different places. And that's one of them. So good news that they're suing them, but I'll report back when the lawsuit hopefully is victorious. Facebook's trying to hide under some law that they're not responsible for things that happen on their platform, but at some point I think everyone's going to have to agree that they are. I know they let the Trumper terrorist in New Zealand who live streamed killing people at mosques, they let that live stream go 1.5 million times at least. They just let it go, let it keep going, let people streaming it on their sharing and streaming it on their platform. But when I tried to share an anti-Trump meme, a picture of Trump's face as a poo stain on a pair of underwear, it wasn't, explicit or anything. It was kind of gross, but it wasn't explicit. It was Trump. It's going to be gross. It was immediately removed, and I was immediately banned for 30 days, instantaneously. No one reported it. No one had time to report it. As soon as it hit the platform, it was immediately removed. That's a Kellyanne Conway's list of memes that aren't allowed. That's fascism. That's censorship. That's Nazi. And people were objecting to Trump using Nazi symbols on his campaign stuff, and they had to object to Facebook for a week for Facebook to archive it, not remove it, but archive it, just shift it to a different part. Yeah, been evil the whole time, been in on it with this genocidal scheme the whole time. I made a list of compiling trolls accounts who were promoting the Trump virus, promoting lies about the vaccines and stuff, trying to spread the genocide. I made that list, and Facebook hid it from me on my own page. It's incredibly evil. I'll show more examples of it when I start filming my Facebook page. Things that you can report that they say are just fine, whereas you get reported and banned for nothing just because you're a leftist. We need to stop the evils of social media and just turn them to good, turn them left, and turn them green, and turn them over to people instead of this evil machine. Thanks for watching, sharing, commenting. Love you forever. See you soon.